3, 2, 1.
My last month's strategy for CAT 23 was simply reading newspapers and practicing mocks. So my mentors had told me to read editorials of newspapers like Times of India and the Hindu religiously, as it would not only help me in my RC, but it would also help me in the interviews of future MBA colleges.
My last month's strategy for VRC in CAT was specifically to do a lot of mocks and try to do as many full-time mocks that I can do, so that I am able to solve as many RCs as possible and to maximize my attacks.
Going back to basics, for example, I believe they should revise their basics on verbal ability to just have a look back at it, but at the same time giving regular mocks, and like I said, analyzing those mocks is really important at this point of time.
My thought process for attempting the VRC section was that it is the open book exam. We have to aim for attempting all the 24 questions, and we have to build the strategy accordingly. So what I did was give mocks each and every day and analyze it for 3 to 4 hours. That ensured that I developed my reading comprehension muscle, and along with it, I also practiced hundreds of difficult VA questions within the mocks itself. One of the critical skills, I believe, was to develop that mental strength to not take the questions unless I'm very sure of them, ensuring 100% accuracy.
During the last month, practice is key. I used to practice around one mock every 2 or 3 days, and I used to rigorously analyze them. I would take about 3 or 4 hours to go through each of the questions and analyze the time. And at this time, you need to analyze 2 things, which are the genres that is tough for you and which are the questions that are tough for you. And before attempting the next mock, I would extensively practice those questions.
I would say once you cover the basics of all the topics, you should slowly dive into giving mocks. The ideal number would be 100 mocks to ensure a 99 plus percentile. So when you give 100 mocks, you also ensure that you're managing stress, you're becoming accustomed to sitting for 2 hours straight, and you're also building critical strategies that you would implement, time management strategies, which questions to attempt and which not to attempt. That you'll be doing while giving mocks.
If VRC is not a strong suit for you, I would suggest that you go through attempt sectionals and then identify the areas that you need to improve and then work on that and then attempt the mocks. But in the last month, it is very important that you attempt at least 1 or 2 mocks every week. So remaining calm on the D-Day is very imperative. You need to know how to calm yourself, and it is more important than all the preparation that you do. While coming to strategy, I used to do my VRC in 3 rounds. So the first round, I used to solve the questions that were easy and that were short. I used to solve 2 RCs in the first round, and I used to solve only those questions which were shorter in length. And then I would move on to VA. In round 2, I used to take up the longer questions of the RCs. I would solve 1 more RC which I could do, and the longer questions in the VA. And round 3, I would do all the questions that I'm not that familiar with, or the genres I'm not that familiar with, or the tough questions.
On a day of CAT, I feel staying calm and staying patient is really important. You need to be flexible yet believe in your preparation and strategy. You need to welcome all the changes that can come in VRC especially.
So my D-Day strategy was pretty simple. It was well begun is half done. I knew that VRC was my strong point, so I really wanted to do well to gain confidence to the next few sections as well. I decided to do 2 RCs out of 3, which were easy or moderate, and then continue to the VA section. I realized that the questions were at the same level as I was practicing in the mocks, so that allowed me to go through them quickly. At the end, I realized that I had time enough to attempt even the 3rd RC.
The D-Day strategy would be to maintain your calm and trust the strategy you've built and trust yourself. I would also suggest to cut out all the unnecessary noise and focus on maintaining your mental balance.
If given a chance, I would have practiced more of verbal ability questions. The sky's the limit to that, but I feel when you practice diverse set of questions, you become more adaptable. You wouldn't panic on the day of examination.
So if given a chance, I would read more because I feel that reading more had helped me a lot. during the entire VARC as well as in the interviews that had come. So I suggest that you write down any of like the points you get in articles, in newspapers, and make small notes, and that would probably help in retention for VARC and in the future for your interviews.
At this point of time, I believe people have done their preparation. They have had their strategies. Just stay by that and stick by that on the day of the examination. Don't try anything new on that day, but also remain adaptable and flexible during exams.
I would just say burst this bubble inside your head that if you're not good at English speaking or you're not good at English reading, you cannot do well in VRC. In fact, if you start reading slowly, if you start reading newspapers, you would realize that this is a section where you can actually stretch your marks. If you do really well in VRC, you can really stretch your marks to 90 or 95 percentile.
Meditation had been of crucial help to manage stress. I would also say that being patient is very necessary, especially if a section comes difficult. You have to tell yourself that R is well so that you don't mess up the other sections that are coming.
Stress management is very important for CAT, and it is as important as your preparations related to any of the sections. So I'll suggest that you time every time you do any question for CAT, because it gives a kind of a similar environment to what you will be facing on that day.
Being on the other side of the table, it's always very easy to say that manage stress well and don't take stress. But I've been on the other side as well, and I know how stressful it can get. But one thing that I can probably say that will put things into perspective is that CAT is just like the first step that you will take. It is just a qualifying exam. It doesn't mean that you have got a B-school seat assured for you. So try to take it in that perspective. Try to say that it's just an exam which is testing my aptitude. And you have many more bigger things in life ahead. Even if you come to a B school, the kind of hustle and challenges that you face here are much more demanding than the actual CAT. So just keep that in mind.